How much did my £5,000 portfolio pay me out last month? Let's get into it. Okay, guys, so in the month of November, we were paid out by 4 different companies or stocks. Those companies were Tesco, Greencoat UK Wind, Primary Health, and British American Tobacco. Now, I'm going to be revealing exactly how much these companies paid me, how much I've invested in those companies, and when I expect to receive another payment from them. And at the end of the video, we're going to compare this year's dividend income in the month of November with last year's dividend income in the month of November to see if we're heading in the right direction, which is towards turning me from a minimum wage warehouse worker to a multi-millionaire. But with that being said, let's get straight into it and talk about that first dividend. So firstly, we have Tesco, ticker symbol TSCO. Now, the total amount I have invested in Tesco is £375.75p. And in the month of October, I got paid £3.50. Now, these guys tend to pay out twice per year, and I'm expecting my next payment from them in the month of June. Now, the dividend yield of Tesco is currently sitting at 3.15%. So now we're going to look at how things have done over the last 12 months and the last 5 years, just to give you guys a better picture of how the stock is doing. So over the last 12 months, Tesco is up, get ready for this, an amazing 22.99%, which is a brilliant performance from them over the last 12 months. But when we take a longer view of the stock and look at it over 5 years, we can see that it's up 59.88%. Which again is an unbelievably good performance from Tesco. Now, I do really like this stock. I really like Tesco. So plans for the future will be to add to my position. This is actually the smaller of the 2 dividends, with the large one coming up in June. But as things stand, I'll be expecting around £7 if I don't add to my position. So the plan is to try and get that dividend up towards a crisp £10 note in the month of June, which will be my largest ever single dividend payment. So if I can manage it, so that's the plan. I'm probably going to need to have a holding of £550, £560. So I've still got some ways to go, but that's the plan. Okay, up next we have Greencoat UK, ticker symbol UKW. Now, this investment trust invests in operating wind farms throughout the UK. Now, the total amount I have invested in Greencoat UK is £84.15p. And in the month of October, I got paid £2.20. Now, these guys tend to pay out 4 times per year. They're a quarterly payer. And I'm expecting my next payment from them in the month of February. Now, the dividend yield for Greencoat is a whopping 10.51%. Which is an amazing dividend, but with it being that high, you always get a little bit tetchy. So now we're going to be taking a look at how it's done over the last 12 months and the last 5 years, just to give you guys a better picture as to how the stock is doing and why perhaps that dividend is so high. So over the last 12 months, Greencoat UK is down 24.07%, which is an awful performance there from them over the last 12 months. But when we take a longer view of the stock and look at it over the last 5 years, we can see that it's down 23.86%, which again is a really bad performance. But had last year not happened, they'd be breaking even, but this year did happen, so they're down 24%. Now, I do think for me, this might be a good time to buy. Could be a bit of a fool's errand here with this this stock. So plans for the future to be to add to my position. Now, when I originally invested into the company a few months ago, that was for £100. So I've lost about £15 over the last few months. Well, maybe £7 or £8 with the dividend payments that I've been getting. So I'll get us back up to £100. £100 holding and just see how they go. I don't really want to be doubling down on them at this point, but we'll get back up to 100 and yeah, just cross our fingers and hope we can ride a wave of recovery. Right, next up we have Primary Health. Ticker symbol here is PHP. Now, these guys specialise in primary care buildings in the UK, the biggest tenant being the NHS. Now, the total amount I have invested in Primary Health is £25.44, and in November, I received a dividend of 46p. Now, they pay out 4 times per year, and my next payment from them is going to be in the month of February. The current dividend yield of Primary Health is 3.84%. But now we're going to be taking a look, like the others, at the 12-month performance and the 5-year performance, just to give you guys a better look as to how the stock is doing. So, this is an interesting one. Over the last 12 months, Primary Health is up 5.39%, but when we take a longer view of the stock and have a look over the last 5 years, Primary Health are down 30.99%. Now, if you can see the graph here, it seems like after the pandemic, they've just fallen away completely and collapsed. Now, it looks like it might be a good time to buy for me. So there's £25 in there now, and I have often said in the past, I'd like to get all of my holdings up to at least £100. That's probably what I'm going to do here. And hopefully they can recover a little bit after that, after that massive lull that you can see there. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be trying to do. That'll mean that the dividend payment is going to shoot up, hopefully towards £2, something like that. That's what I'm going to be going for. So that's the future plans for Primary Health. Right. Last but certainly not least, in fact, the biggest payer of the month was British American Tobacco. Ticker symbol BATS. Hi guys, sorry to interrupt the video. I just wanted to give you some money. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So there's a link in the description, and if you want to start investing and you use that link in the description, you're going to get some free shares. Now, these free shares are yours to do what you want with. Now, we've had a number of people on the channel come back and tell me that they've used that link, they've got some free shares, and they're all over here. I'll put them up right now. And it's amazing that you guys can come back and tell me that I've given you free money, and all you've had to do is watch these videos, click that link and sign up. So yeah, if you want some free money, the link's down there in the description. There you go. Right, back to the video. It can be between £10 and £200. So you're at least getting a tenner, but you might get 200 quid. You're welcome. Merry Christmas. Back to the video. Now, the total amount I have invested in British American Tobacco is £308.35. And in the month of November, I received a dividend of £4.20, which is amazing. Now, these guys pay out 4 times per year, and my next payment from them will be in the month of February. The dividend yield for British American Tobacco is currently sitting at 5.45%. But now, I'll do the interesting thing and look at the performance over 12 months and 5 years to give you guys a better understanding as to how the stock is doing. This is amazing. Spoiler alert. So, over the last 12 months, British American Tobacco are up in 12 months 49.19%. But when we look at the 5-year performance, we can see that British American Tobacco are up 61.85%. So they're performing very, very well. Now, future plans here. So I'm currently getting paid out £4.20, 4 times per year. Now, I would want that dividend to creep up over a £5, so I will add to my position here, try and get my holding up towards £400, and hopefully we can crack that £5 dividend when they pay out. And they pay out in the February, so I'm going to maybe get that done. They'll probably have an ex-dividend date in the January, so that's what I'm going to be trying to do with this position. Now, we're going to be comparing last year's dividend income in the month of November with this year's dividend income in the month of November to see if we're heading in the right direction. So, in November of 2024, we got 92p in dividends, and this year, you might have guessed it's better, in November of 2025, we got £10.36 in dividends. Now, that is a huge increase and is hugely motivating to go and add to my position here and get more dividends. And yeah, it's massive. I know some people won't think £10 isn't a lot of money, but to me it is, and it shows a massive increase, especially in the space of a year. It's, you know, over 10x increase in terms of dividends in the month of November. So Very happy with that. Long may that continue. If it does that again, we'll be sat here next year with £100 in dividends. I doubt that's going to happen, but nice to dream. But I'll just put up a little graph here so you can see the difference a little bit more visually. But yeah, I don't think that's too bad going for 1 year. I have put in a lot of money into my positions. Now, if you want to see how I was actually able to do that and grow this portfolio by such a large amount, I actually stumbled into quite a lot of money. Not stumbled in, I did attempt to get this money. It's an interesting story, crazy story. If you want to see what it is, I'll leave that video link right there. Very interesting watch how I stumbled into all that money. But apart from that, I'm Steve. This is the Extra Income Boss. That is all my dividend payments throughout the month of November. I will see you guys again in that one right there. Peace.